Good evening and welcome to the land of the Pharaohs on this, our last day of coverage of the Pharaohs Rally. This is the final legs from Lake Rayawan to Cairo. Cairo, not always the capital of Egypt, it was not always thus. Memphis, capital of Egypt in the early days, and then later Alexandria, before Cairo, founded by the Arabs in around 1000 AD, became the capital. These are the beautiful scenes today, this afternoon, on a sunny October, autumn Egyptian afternoon. Our Eurosport helicopter racing in towards the start of the final stage today. This is the 215-kilometer section from Lake Rawayan into Cairo. So the story today as they start is that 28 of the 48 cars and trucks that started are still in the rally, and of the bikers, 22 of the 40 starters have survived. This was early this morning, the last chance before they leave, and there is Timo Salonen with Britain's Fred Gallagher, just 215 kilometers ahead of him now between them and victory at the Pyramid of Menkaure on the edge of Cairo. This is the wind-sculpted cliff scenery around El Fayum, the great inland sea of Egypt. One time it was the Mediterranean shore of Egypt, but the Nile Delta gradually spread outwards, taking the land of the Pharaohs out to what is now Alexandria. Look at Mackinnon going oh so carefully over those ridges, mindful of what happened yesterday to rally leader Said Al-Hajri, and this, it has to be said, is amongst some of the most spectacular scenery of the whole 11 days and 4,050 kilometers of racing behind us. There, suddenly in front, are the Great Pyramids, the Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Khafren, and the Pyramid of Menkaure, the highest of them, 147 meters high, built 4,500 years ago. Today, welcoming in Timo Salonen, who wins the 12th Pharaohs Rally, to a tumultuous reception. Salonen, the 1985 World Rally Champion from Finland, makes it to the finish. Fred Gallagher alongside him, these two having put on a tremendous performance throughout the rally, leading the first day, then lost it with a number of punches, but came back, profited from the loss of Hubert Auriol, then from the loss of Al-Hajri, and he wins for Citroen. It is his first ever rally raid win. The whole Citroen keep turning out to welcome in.
I did very slowly because I was not hurry, and it's not necessary to go fast because we had about 1.5 hour lead. Very slowly, and I looked the countryside a little bit more. Yeah.
What are your impressions about the overall race?
No, for me that was fantastic. I was unlucky beginning during 2 days, and somebody else was lucky. And now at the end of the rally I was lucky and somebody else unlucky.
Are you going to be on the Dakar?
I must ask from Mr. Frekland if he keep me in team or not. That I don't know yet.
Second man in the rally today, Jean-Louis Schlesser, a somewhat ignominious finish, stuck firmly in the sand, being towed out in the Schlesser Renault buggy, the buggy he shares with Philippe Monet, the single-handed round-the-world yachtsman. Jean-Louis won this event last year, driving single-handedly, but now with Philippe Monet by his side navigating him this last ridge, and in front of him the pyramids on the plateau here at Giza, to the west of Cairo. In comes Jean-Louis Schlesser, the 1990 and 91 World Sports Car Champion for Mercedes. Great performance by Jean-Louis. Frenchman looking absolutely exhausted after these last few days. Philippe Monet, you remember, who won the Paris-Cape Town with Purgatorio, and Jean-Louis tells us it was a really great rally this year. Each morning we just didn't know what was going to happen during the day. So there were a lot of risks and perhaps tougher than usual this year. And we saw what happened to some of our colleagues in the rally. He said, but even without the reconnaissance, it was very, very good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. He's referenced the reconnaissance being that organizer Pharaohs completely bans any records before the rally, relying on GPS navigation and compass points. 2:03, in comes Pierre Lartigue, third overall. He finishes 3 hours and 3 minutes behind his winning teammate Salonen. Schlesser was 1 hour and 43 minutes behind him. And then in fourth place comes Jean-Pierre Fontenay. Now this is an incredible performance by Fontenay, because he is not driving a T3 prototype like his colleagues, but driving a modified production version of the Mitsubishi Pajero. And Fontenay comes in to win not only the T2 section of the rally, but also to take the World T2 Championship. It's a very good rally, he tells us. It's been a long time since we really made a rally like this. So we really must thank Pharaohs and the whole organization. They made us go into some places that otherwise we'd never have had the chance to see. Actually, it seems really difficult, but then in 3 weeks we'll be only be thinking about the best bits, and we finally got back the real image of rally raiding. Behind Fontenay, in comes Hervé Cotel. He finishes 5th overall in what was supposed to be the backup buggy to Jean-Louis Schlesser. In fact, he's been in the race as much as anyone. He finishes 10 hours and 40 minutes behind Salonen. And we had a chance to talk to Cotel, who put on a great showing to give the Renault buggies a 2.5 finish. It was really beautiful, says Cotel. It was beautiful images. Really good specials in the canyons and in the sand. He said, I really enjoyed it. I was like a tourist on this event. Salvador Servia, the Spaniard, 6th overall. He's delighted because he has won the T1 category, which is for absolutely bog standard production vehicles, and he gives Mitsubishi a walkover in the T2 and T1 categories by winning the T1 section 12 hours and 17 minutes behind Salonen. This is an extremely happy Spaniard.
Great. You understand? No. Yes. 9 races this year. Yes. All 9 at the end. Good finish. 100 per 100 efficiency. Great.
Alors Salvatore est en français maintenant?
Ah oui, bien sûr.
We asked him if he can tell us in French what's happening. He said it's the 9th race of this year. It's 9 times we've made the finish. Of course, we're very happy.
Sport Cup kit, and we are very happy because, pardon, on est très content du fait qu'avec un petit T1 marathon.
He said it's our first experience in this team with the factory team, and we're very happy to have a good result in the little T1 marathon vehicle. 6th place on the Pharaohs. He said we already had a 5th place on the 1991 Pharaohs. He said, perhaps we're less quick than the others, but at the end of it, it's an enduro race, and that's where we're really effective. Serbia driving with Jaime Pugh.
Justement, vous allez moins vite. Mauvaise question. Vous avez eu le temps de regarder le
no mistakes during the whole rally.
Qu'est-ce que vous gardez? Quelle est l'image forte que vous gardez de cette édition des Pharaons?
Bon, c'est toujours le dernier souvenir le plus fort.
He said the really strong impression would be now the memories. We discovered a temple today which we'd never seen before, and even if I passed in front of it 4 years ago, we made a special little out-of-the-way navigation to see it. We stopped to look at it, and it was really great. It was completely lost in the desert, but Jaime drove me to exactly where it was, and I'm very happy. It showed he's a good navigator. So now we start working on the next Paris-Dakar. And I'm happy because it goes through Spain. Well, there is the final result. Timo Salonen from Schlesser Lartigue, Fontenay, Cotel and Servia. So Citroen taking a 1-3 and Salman Lartigue moving into the lead of the FIA World Cross Country Cup, with Fontenay in third place overall, having already won 2-2. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us on Eurosport. Well, good evening. Welcome back to Egypt. This is the Pharaohs Rally, and this is the winning truck, the Mercedes Unimog of Michel Tralio. Michel Tralio tells us, I'm tired. We're all very tired, and I can't even remember my own name. Said it was a really hard competition. It was the most difficult stage of the rally. So this victory is well deserved.
Hai dimostrato che sei quasi più bravo con I camion che con la macchina.
He's asked if he was better in the truck than he was in the car. He said, in fact, the truck's stronger than a car, and that's all, but I hope to be back in a car in the next competition. So for Tralio and Pige in their Mercedes Unimog, a very, very impressive 12th place overall in the Pharaohs Rally. This was the scene this morning back at the Lake Rayawayan as we looked at the surviving 22 bikers waiting for this final dash into Cairo, 215 kilometers after 4,050 kilometers of specials over the last 11 days. And here they go, led by Jordi Arcarons and Eddie Orioli, out into the dunes again, these fantastic sculptured dunes here on this final section, the section known as Some Like It Hot. Very hard sand today, so it's not such a problem for the bikers. But out front, as always, those two 750 Kajiva Marathons fighting for position through that pass, where we earlier saw Salonen taking it really easy over the edge. He didn't want to do an Al-Hajri, and indeed the bikers picking their way very easily. Franco Pico there on the 600 KTM, the Milan dentist, distinctive in his red, racing towards the finish at Cairo. No chance today for him to make up his 3 hours deficit. All the attention on the first two in the rally, Eddie Orioli and Jordi Arcarons riding side by side throughout the whole event, and separated when they started this morning by just 4 minutes. Arcarons almost certain to take the win now. All the bikers basically staying together, but there's some tricky dunes coming up ahead of them, and the wind has been getting up a bit this morning. Racing again down these beautiful passes on the route into Giza. This really is ancient Egypt. This was the original part of Lower Egypt occupied by the Pharaohs. Pharaohs of the Old Kingdom. This is 4,500 years ago they walked these same trails. Jordi Arcarons out front. Only a few more kilometers to go now for victory. Arcarons second on the Pharaohs Rally in 1990 and third this year on the Paris-Dakar, riding for Yamaha. He's come back to Kajiva and it's paid dividends because the Spaniard is almost certain now of victory. The Eurosport helicopter following him, coming over through the last stages, but then something happens because we see Eddie Orioli on the Albatross Kajiva coming into the pyramids first. We have lost Arcarons, and Orioli is going to finish the stage first, but the question everyone will be asking was, will the difference be enough to win him the rally? There's the pyramids, there's the finish, and Orioli takes the flag first at the end of the special. He wins today's special. And he is astonished to find that Jordi Arcarons is not there ahead of him. Well, we're going to take a short break. We'll find out what happened to Arcarons in a moment. Stay with us on Eurosport. This is Mark Cole. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Eurosport. This is Eddie Orioli, the Italian, who I think before much else he'd like a glass of Vino Collapso, but he is more concerned at the moment about his teammate, Jordi Arcarons. He can't believe his luck and he cannot believe the bad luck
Ho tentato il tutto per tutto, visto
Orioli
che
said, I gave my best, I did
cambiare
everything.
strada mi seguiva ogni metro.
I saw that Arcarons was changing directions. He was really close to me all the time.
Sono riuscito a
He said,
guadagnare
and
un
then
minuto nella
one moment I did the maximum, I took 1 minute from him in the dust, and I tried to leave him behind by doing some zigzagging, winding around the dunes to prevent him from following me. It worked, he said, because he got lost, and I won the rally. Were you surprised? Yeah, he said, I was really surprised to win because I also got lost and I came back slowly, thinking he'd already arrived. I had a really bad time in this stage. I got excited in some of the holes, a lot of holes. Others I wasn't so excited about. But finally, I made it.
Infatti non immaginavo assolutamente che lui
I've no idea.
ha fatto una strada completamente
No
diversa.
idea at all, he said, where Jordi is at the moment.
Scusate la parola, in mezzo ai buchi, fan buchi dappertutto in questo deserto. Sono riuscito a venire fuori bene.
And here I am. And then in behind comes the man everyone's been waiting for as the winner, but is not. He's going to finish second in the rally. Orioli absolutely shattered by the fact that his teammate Arcarons got lost, and the fact that he's won. Arcarons even more shattered though. 20 minutes and 57 seconds. He loses the rally by. He tells us we're racing until the last moment. He said, and this time I lost it. He said in the last 10 kilometers, and then he moves on a bit because he's obviously a bit overcome by it all. And he starts again for us, he says. In the last 10 kilometers I took the wrong direction completely. Orioli chose a bad way, and we had no finishing point because the organisation hadn't given us one. I made a mistake of perhaps 6 kilometers, and it cost me, what, 20 minutes, and I lost the race. So absolutely shattered man here, Orioli, thinking for the last few days victory was his, and he loses. Franco Pico, he's next in, riding with Jutta Kleinschmidt into the finish. Third and fourth overall in the bikes. Pico, the Milan dentist, Kleinschmidt, the BMW engineer, coming in together at the end of what for them has been a triumphant rally. Pico nearly 3 hours behind Kajivas. Kleinschmidt 6 hours and 44 minutes behind them, but nonetheless a personal best for her.
Arrivare in fondo è sempre un risultato. Il terzo,
well, Franco Pico surprised as anybody that Orioli won. He said, but third place isn't bad for me, is it? He said, to arrive at the end is a great result. I'm third, I didn't expect better, so I'm really happy. He said, in this stage, I thought it'd be nice for a lady to win. I thought I was first, so I waited for Jutta Kleinschmidt. I wanted her to win, but I didn't see her mark anymore. Still wanted to give her a chance to win, but I didn't know that we weren't in the lead and that Orioli had already arrived. Said we belong to the same team, both riding the KTMs, and we arrived together. Well, Jutta said it's a really mad rally. Even on the last day, after 11 stages, we had this 12th stage. So I was really lucky during the rally. I've had no problems at all, either the bike or myself, and I'm very happy to be here. So, great day for the First Lady of German desert raiding, Jutta Kleinschmidt, as in comes Egypt's hero, Rai Badar, the bike being pushed in by willing helpers, the man who won the first stage from El Alamein down to Al-Hajri. In he comes with the bike out of fuel. Badar finishing 18th. Certainly not out. Well, the man responsible for all this, the organizer of the rally, Pharaohs, the race director, his real name Jean-Claude Modelet. He's been organizing this event since 1982, tells us everything's gone really well. I'm always worried about everything, so long as everyone's not arrived. Till now, we've had only a few accidents, none of them serious. We had some spectacular developments. The race was really sporting, I think, this year, and we went to places that people have never seen before. I quite like the developments of today in the motorbike section. It's typical of desert races, and especially the Pharaohs. Orioli was really clever. He made our Arcarons follow him in the wrong way and finally lost him and got back into the right direction. So Orioli wins on bluff and intelligence, and of course that is what we're trying to do with these desert raids. It's not flat out racing all the way, it's using a lot of common sense. Well, there's the results of the bikes. Orioli, Arcarons, a totally unexpected result. Pico 2 hours and 9 minutes, Kleinschmidt 6 hours 44, and Marmaroli on the Gilera finishing 5th for Italy, 8 hours behind. Spare a thought for the last man in the rally, who finished way back down the field, 76 hours and 22 minutes behind. That was Jean-Pierre Rebou in his Toyota. Well, these are the final scenes at the Pyramids this afternoon after this incredible 11-day rally. Probably one of the most successful of all of the 12 Pharaohs rallies. 4,730 kilometers behind them, 3,972 of them special stages, and a great result for everybody, especially for Citroen, who have been so desperate to beat Mitsubishi on these true desert rallies. These have been the pictures we've seen over the last 11 nights on Eurosport. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. This has been Mark Cole. We look forward to seeing you for the Paris-Dakar next year. Meanwhile, we'll see you here on Eurosport soon.